So if Ghana goes into the African Cup of Nations and we ends up being eliminated in the group stages, Ghanaians wouldn't be as angry as we were when Comoros knocked us out in the previous edition. And it's not because we don't like the Black Stars. It's simply because we have lower expectations. We don't expect them to go all the way and perhaps win. So if they end up not performing well, we will not be surprised. Or maybe we are just protecting our hearts because in most cases we expect too much from them and they end up disappointing us. So Ghanaians don't expect much from Chris Hughton and his boys in this coming African Cup of Nations, which is fair. However, in today's edition of Explainer, we are going to talk about why I think, in as much as Ghanaians don't expect anything from this Black Stars team, they need to deliver and Chris Hughton needs to get them to perform. That's what we are talking about in today's edition of Explainer. My name is Delali Frank. If it's your first time, as usual, hit on the subscription button and let's build this community together. Without wasting much time, let's get straight into today's video. So, as I said in my intro, the Ghanaians don't expect the Black Stars to go and win the African Cup of Nations. As a matter of fact, if Ghana gets knocked out from the group stages, nobody will be surprised. That's the truth. In as much as we will not be happy, we will complain, but we will also not be surprised like how we were when Ghana got knocked out by Comoros in the previous edition. It's simply because we don't expect a lot from the team. And also because the consistent roller coaster performance has been there that now we don't even know the kind of Black Stars that will show up and perform. That is fair. So now Ghanaians or fans of football in Ghana don't expect our national team to go all the way and go and win. Good. However, I am here to remind all of us, or maybe remind Chris Hughton and the Black Stars team and the technical bench particularly, that they need to be able to perform at the African Cup of Nations. And these are the reasons. The reason is that the Black Stars team, or the squad, or the individual players that are going to represent us in the African Cup of Nations are in their best form. And we are going to talk about the numbers. But first of all, let's talk about this a bit starts here. Most of the African Cup of Nations, the last recent years that Ghana has excelled, are Afcons that we least expected the team to excel. In 2010, Angola, young players, Ghana has won the World Cup in the under-20. The head coach just promoted the players into the senior team, went to the World Cup, went to the African Cup of Nations, and went all the way to the finals and lost to Egypt, I think. In 2015, under Abraham Grant, when Ghana had a bad World Cup at the Brazil 2014, 2015 Abraham Grant came, the FA told him just go to the World Afcon and go and do well. Do well, he went all the way to the finals and Ghana nearly won, but lost on penalties to, I think, Ivory Coast. So in the last two editions that Ghana has performed well, those Afcons, fans were not basically expecting Ghana to go and perform well. So I would say that in most cases when Ghanaians don't expect much from the Black Stars, that's when they go and do well. That's just something that you can't base on football performances, but it's just more of a stat that I want to throw in. But this is why I think Chris Hughton cannot disappoint us. Let's look at the Black Stars players. Mohamed Kudus, who is one of the players, or perhaps at this point, the most valuable Black Stars player now, ahead of Thomas Partey because Thomas is not performing or playing actively. Kudus has started 8 games for West Ham United, but he has played a total of 14 matches. Started 8 games for West Ham United. Kudus has scored 5 goals and provided 1 assist this particular season. This is Mohamed Kudus, who is not even a forward. Joined West Ham United and is struggling in the English Premier League. In the last weekend that the game was played recently, Kudus scored 2 goals in West Ham United recent game in one of the exceptional fashion style. So as I said, the players that are going to play the Black Stars games for us are balling. They are excelling for their previous clubs, and it's up to our head coaches to get the best out of them to excel. And I'm going to give you all the numbers of players that play for the Black Stars and how good they've been. I've given you Mohamed Kudus. Now let's talk about Inaki Williams. Inaki Williams, even when he was playing for Athletic Bilbao, was not has always and has never been an out-and-out striker. Like, not he's a striker, but he's not the striker that scores 20 goals a season. Very workaholic, works for you, but this particular season he's having a great season. Inaki has played 17 matches for Athletic Bilbao. He has scored 8 goals and has 3 assists. Are you following? Inaki Williams has 8 goals this season out of 14 matches and has 3 assists. That's a total of contributing up to 11 goals for Athletic Bilbao. Currently, Athletic Bilbao lies fifth in the Spanish La Liga. This is a player who plays for the Black Stars. Antoine Semenyo in the English Premier League, one of the toughest leagues in European football, has played 10 matches, had 3 goals and 1 assist. Scored against Liverpool, and in the last few games has been very consistent for his club side. Joseph Pencil, who plays in Belgium, and he doesn't even get a chance to start for the Black Stars, has played 18 matches, has scored 6 goals and has 4 assists. Pencil is not a number 9, he's a winger. That's Pencil's stats. And over the weekend, he scored a brace for his side and was basically showed a man of the match performance. Let's go to the midfield and talk about Salis. Salis just helped his club side Lens to qualify for the Europa League for the first time in the history of the club. They beat Sevilla, one of the clubs that knows how to play European football, especially even qualifying for the Europa League. These are the Black Stars players and how they are balling. If you go to the defense, Salisu has come back. In as much as he had injuries, he has come back. Jiku has come back to play club side. Even Alidu Sedu, who in the last few games is struggling, played for his club side Clermont Foot, and his bossing is as part of the centre backs. So if you look at the Black Stars players, Jordan Ayew excelling, mention them. All the Black Stars players are balling for their club side, proud to this African Cup of Nations. And I stand to be corrected, but I don't know that there's been an African Cup of Nations where Black Stars players are grabbing headlines for their club side like this Afcon, where basically every weekend a Ghanaian player is scoring a goal. That's true. So every weekend that Ghana plays, every weekend that there's a club football, you find a Black Stars player excelling. Fatal Shaku goes into Leicester City and basically has balls Leicester City. And Esnyama goes to France, excelling for France, starting game week in, week out. This is the Black Stars players that are going to play for us in the African Cup of Nations. So then why can't the head coaches and the technical team help these boys replicate the same performance when they play for us? So for me, in as much as Ghanaians don't expect the Black Stars to go all the way to the African Cup of Nations and even win, I think Chris Hughton and his charges needs to give us a decent performance. At least a quarter-final, semi-finals performance. Lose to Morocco and we are fine. But you can't go to the Afcon and go and lose to Comoros. You can't go to the African Cup of Nations and no disrespect and lose to Mali. And if you lose to Ivory Coast, not even Ivory Coast, we should be able to give them a match. Looking at the kind of squad we have. And I've always said that when it comes to quality on the pitch, quality in terms of playing football, we have decent, intelligent players. It is simply up to our head coaches to get the best out of them. Chris Hughton, we know him, and we know him to be a defensive coach. But the defending Ankasa Charlie emphasis here, we are considering basically in every game we play, free your players and let them play good football. Because in this Black Stars team, our greatest strength is moving forward. And in our games that we have played and we have showed some signs of good football, it has always come when we were more offensive than trying to defend the lines. So for me, this is just a quick, I don't want to say a warning, but a quick message to Chris Hughton and the technical team that yes, Ghanaians are not expecting the Black Stars to go and win the Afcon, or Ghanaians are not expecting some over-the-top performance. But in reality, they can't go to the African Cup of Nations and get eliminated in the group stages. That would be a failure. Because the players that are going to play the Afcon and the form they are coming in with, nobody can tell me that these guys cannot put themselves together and play some good football. Sami Kufuor said that Ghana can surprise the world and surprise Africa by going all the way to the Afcon and showing some good performance. And I think it's possible. And it's possible not because we are not good and we are going to survive on Nyame Beche and Matramakwe and Ishala and Vibes. No, it's because we have a good team and it's up to the head coaches to put these good players to use and get the best out of them. So for me, I don't expect Ghana to go and win the Afcon, but I expect them to go and show some decent performance. What do you also think? I'm sure you don't expect them to go and win, but what do you also think about the Black Stars going into this Afcon? Because the performance of the Black Stars players is high for their club side, and we need them to show up and perform well for Ghana. As usual, my name is Delale Frank. That's all for today's edition on Explainer. Until we meet again, bye bye for now.